So, you want to survive the Navy, huh? Maybe you've seen the commercials, sailing the high seas, adventure, honor, tradition, cute. What they don't show you is that your Navy journey starts with being the human equivalent of duct tape, slowly clawing your way up the ranks while swabbing decks, getting yelled at for breathing too loud, and wondering why the ship smells like feet and jet fuel. From the bottom feeders known as recruits, all the way to the legendary Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, the single sailor who could probably boss around Poseidon himself, we're breaking down every enlisted Navy rank. The good, the bad, and the ones that make you question why you joined in the first place. So buckle up, sailor. By the end of this video, you'll either be inspired to join the Navy or thank God every day you didn't. Seaman Recruit E1. Welcome to the Navy, shipmate. You've made it through boot camp, shaved your head, learned how to fold socks with mathematical precision, and now you're absolutely nothing. No stripes, no crows, no insignia at all. You're literally a blank uniform walking around the ship. You're not a sailor yet. You're a liability with legs. Your entire identity is saying, aye, petty officer, and sprinting to do whatever pointless task you just got voluntold for. You'll scrub the same deck 10 times in one day, paint the same bulkhead 3 times in a week, and somehow, it'll still be wrong. You don't even get a cool nickname. You're just, hey Seaman Recruit, or worse, boot. Everyone outranks you, even the coffee machine. You'll get lost every single time you try to find the mess deck, and when you finally get there, someone will remind you you're late. The best part? Promotion is automatic, which means the Navy doesn't even care how good you are. They just want you out of this rank before you break something expensive. Seaman Apprentice E2. Congrats! You've leveled up from total nobody to slightly less of a nobody. Now you've got 2 diagonal stripes on your sleeve, which basically means, I've been here a few months and haven't completely sunk the ship yet. As a Seaman Apprentice, you're still everyone's go-to errand runner, but at least you don't look like a complete ghost in uniform anymore. You might get trusted with small responsibilities like chipping paint, hauling gear, or holding the flashlight while someone actually qualified does the work. Spoiler, you will always hold the flashlight wrong. This is also the rank where you start to notice how much Navy life is just endless maintenance. Scrub, polish, paint, repeat. You'll spend more time with a paintbrush than with your actual family. You dream of being a seaman, E3, because that's when you finally start doing real Navy stuff. Newsflash, it's still painting, just with more attitude. But hey, at least you're one step closer to actually looking like you belong on the ship instead of being mistaken for a tourist. Seaman E3. Finally, you've reached the top of the junior enlisted baby ranks. You've got 3 diagonal stripes now, which basically means you've graduated from ship mascot to slightly useful human. You walk around thinking you're hot stuff because you're not a recruit or apprentice anymore, but trust me, the chiefs still see you as a walking mop with boots. As a seaman, you finally get tossed into more real Navy work. But real Navy work often looks suspiciously like more painting, more cleaning, more standing watch. Basically, the ship is your entire personality now. You'll get roped into late night duties, security watches, and probably get lost the first 5 times you try to find the mess deck. That's just part of the initiation. Your biggest flex? Now you're eligible for more specialized schools and jobs. You're starting to actually become something in the Navy instead of just floating furniture. Of course, you'll also be hazed mercilessly by petty officers who live for reminding you that no matter how confident you look, you're still a boot in their eyes. Enjoy the seaman rank. It's the last stop before the Navy slaps a crow on your sleeve and decides you're responsible for things that actually matter. Petty Officer, 3rd Class, E4. Congratulations. You've officially escaped the Seaman Scrubbing Barnacles Club. Now you've got a crow on your sleeve, which means you're an actual petty officer. Or at least that's what your mom brags about to her friends. In reality, you're just a seaman with paperwork. Here's the deal. E4 is the most dangerous rank in the Navy. Why? Because you have just enough power to boss people around, but not enough common sense to know when to stop. You'll spend your days juggling your actual technical job, fixing gear, running systems, troubleshooting problems, with the nightmare of managing junior sailors who somehow find ways to set fire to things that shouldn't even burn. The chiefs love using you as a buffer. They hand you all the dirty work of supervising, disciplining, and training new sailors, while they sit back and laugh at your suffering. You're basically a babysitter with a tool belt. The catch? Every mistake your juniors make is now magically your fault. That time someone fell asleep on watch? Your fault. That time the deck log got coffee spilled on it? Your fault. Welcome to the glamorous life of leadership. But hey, you're finally allowed to strut through the ship acting like you own the place. Just don't forget, E7s and above still see you as a rookie with a shiny crow. Petty Officer, 2nd Class, E5. Petty Officer, 2nd Class, the Navy's favorite middle child. You've clawed your way past E4, which means you've either got real leadership potential, or you just survived long enough without getting NJP'd. Either way, you've got 2 chevrons now, and that little extra stripe comes with a massive shift. You're no longer just that petty officer. You're the petty officer in charge. Your daily life, a balancing act from hell. You've got got chiefs dumping tasks on you, junior sailors looking up to you for guidance, and officers who think you're basically a walking checklist machine. You're not high enough to say no to anything, but you're just senior enough that every screw-up magically becomes your personal legacy. Someone's late to muster, that's on you. Equipment broken, that's on you. Ship's mascot missing, somehow, still you. This is the rank where you learn the cruelest Navy truth, authority without real power. Sure, you get to yell at seamen and tell them to sweep, but when they ignore you, guess who's still scrubbing the deck? You. Here's the kicker. E5 is the sweet spot for responsibility mixed with just enough sarcasm to survive. You know the system, you know the shortcuts, and you've perfected the yes chief face while internally screaming. Chiefs love you because you make their lives easier. Enlisted love you because you're not totally corrupted yet. But deep down, you know you're one deployment away from losing your sanity and becoming an E6 lifer. Petty Officer First Class, E6. Now we're talking. Petty Officer First Class. 3 chevrons, 1 rocker, and the smug aura of someone who thinks they've finally cracked the code of Navy life. At this rank, you're basically a chief in training, whether you like it or not. Chiefs start eyeing you like you're their little apprentice, while junior sailors see you as the person who controls their entire existence. And in a way, they're not wrong. Daily life? Endless. You're the middle management of the seas, tasked with everything from supervising maintenance to explaining to some seaman why it's a bad idea to fall asleep on watch. The Navy trusts you enough to run divisions, but not enough to leave you alone. You're under a microscope, one bad inspection or sloppy drill, and suddenly you're not ready for khakis. The E6 sweet spot is also the most stressful. You know exactly how things are supposed to work, but you're stuck in that purgatory where you can't actually fix the system. Chiefs laugh at your frustration, junior sailors dump every complaint on your lap, and officers, they treat you like you're a Wi-Fi router, only noticed when you stop working. Socially, this is the rank where sarcasm becomes your second language. You've seen enough Navy nonsense to be bitter, but you've still got just enough hope to chase that mythical khaki dream. You're respected, feared, and blamed for everything within a 10-mile radius of your division. But let's be honest, the rocker doesn't just mean rank, it's a countdown clock, because everyone knows you're either making chief or you're stuck here forever. Chief Petty Officer, E7. Welcome to the brotherhood and sisterhood of khakis. Becoming a chief isn't just a promotion, it's like joining a secret society. One day you're a salty E6 with too much paperwork. The next you're wearing anchors, getting handed a coffee mug with your name on it, and suddenly speaking in riddles like Yoda in khakis. Chiefs are the backbone of the Navy. You're not just supervising anymore, you're running the show. Officers, they may technically be in charge, but let's be real. They don't make a move without asking a chief what's actually possible. Enlisted sailors, they look at you like some mythical creature who can either ruin their life with one word or save it with a single phone call. Daily life, you're the fixer. A sailor fails inspection, you fix it. Divisions falling apart, you fix it. Ship's morale is in the dumpster, guess who's running pizza night? And on top of that, you're still expected to show up at 0500 like you've been drinking nothing but seawater and pride. The initiation into the chief's mess, yeah, it's legendary. Some say it's hazing, others call it tradition. Either way, you come out of it with new respect, new responsibilities, and a permanent addiction to coffee that makes Marines look like amateurs. Being a chief means you finally made it to the Navy's inner circle of influence. You've got respect, power, and a whole lot of new headaches. But every sailor knows one thing. If the ship is sinking, pray the chief is still on board. Senior Chief Petty Officer, E8. Ah yes, the Senior Chief. You've been in so long that you don't just know the Navy, you are the Navy. At this point, your voice carries so much weight that a single from you can make a lieutenant question their life choices. You're basically a chief turned up to 11, with more gray hair, louder sighs, and an aura of, I've seen everything twice, and both times it was stupid. Your job? To mentor chiefs, terrify junior officers, and keep the Navy from collapsing under its own mountain of good ideas. When a ship's in chaos, the crew doesn't look for the captain, they look for the senior chief, because everyone knows you're the one actually holding the place together. You've mastered the fine art of telling sailors they're wrong without raising your voice, which somehow makes it scarier. Daily routine? Half the time you're navigating sailor drama like a high school guidance counselor. The other half you're crushing dreams with phrases like, back in my day, and we tried that once, and it failed miserably. Officers think they're running the Navy, but everyone knows senior chiefs are the real puppet masters, pulling strings from the shadows like salty, coffee-fueled masterminds. Bottom line, a senior chief is the Navy's equivalent of Gandalf with a coffee mug, wise, grumpy, and capable of absolute wizardry when the situation demands it. Sailors fear you, officers rely on you, and nobody wants to see you angry. Master Chief Petty Officer, E9. This is it, the top of the enlisted mountain. The Master Chief Petty Officer is less of a person and more of a mythical figure. You've survived decades of deployments, clueless officers, and enough Navy bureaucracy to kill a normal human being. Now, you walk around the ship like Poseidon himself, except instead of a trident, trident. You wield unlimited authority, legendary sarcasm, and a coffee cup that hasn't been empty since the Cold War. Your power is unmatched. Sailors whisper when you enter the room, junior officers snap to attention like their lives depend on it, and even captains will quietly ask, "Master Chief, is this a bad idea?" Because let's be real, you're the one running the Navy. Officers might sign the paperwork, but you're the reason the ship doesn't sink or the command doesn't implode. Day to day, you balance mentoring young sailors, protecting them from the dumbest good ideas that come from higher up, and making sure the Navy doesn't eat itself alive. When morale's low, you fix it. When chaos strikes, you control it. When someone's career is about to end in flames, you either save it or hand them the matches with a smile. And let's not forget the stereotype. Salty, wise, terrifying, and somehow both everyone's hero and everyone's nightmare. If a sailor hears Master Chief wants to see you, they immediately wonder which life choices led them to this moment. Bottom line, Master Chief isn't just a rank, it's a living legend. The Navy doesn't move without you, and the ocean itself might part if you demanded it. Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, MacPon. There is only one of you. One. The MacPon isn't just a rank. It's a throne. You're the voice of every enlisted sailor in the entire U.S. Navy, and that means every problem, every complaint, every dumb policy, and every morale crisis eventually makes its way to your desk. You don't just mentor sailors, you mentor the Navy itself. When you walk into a room, even admirals sit a little straighter. Captains who normally think they're untouchable suddenly get nervous. Why? Because the MC Pawn can kill a career with a single raised eyebrow. You don't shout anymore. Your presence does the talking. And when you actually do speak, people write it down like scripture. Your day is a mix of meetings with the Chief of Naval Operations, speeches to sailors, and carefully avoiding becoming a meme on Navy Facebook pages. Sailors look up to you like you're some kind of demigod, but also secretly hope you'll fix the things they complain about on deployment. Spoiler, you won't. You're too busy traveling the world, shaking hands, and reminding everyone what deckplate leadership is supposed to mean. The stereotype? You're equal parts wise sage, terrifying grandparent, and Navy PR mascot. Your haircut could slice steel. Your coffee mug costs more than a seaman's paycheck. And if you show up on a ship, people scrub every corner twice because Minkpon's coming. Bottom line, you've survived the ranks, you've outlasted the Navy itself, and now you sit on top of the enlisted food chain, the one sailor to rule them all. Now, before you get all up in arms about me skipping Command Master Chief Petty Officer and Fleet Force Master Chief Petty Officer in the video, yes, I see you. Let me explain. These aren't just fancy titles. They're like the secret VIP levels of the Navy. Most videos skip them because, honestly, talking about them is like explaining the difference between regular cake and ultra deluxe cake with gold sprinkles. It's still cake, but now with way more responsibility and a ridiculous number of acronyms. So I left them out to keep your brain from exploding. But now you know they exist. And yes, they are awesome, powerful, and slightly intimidating. If you survived this lineup, congrats. You've got tougher sea legs than half the fleet. But don't drop anchor yet, because if you thought this was brutal, wait until you see what I did to the Army officer ranks. Spoiler, lieutenants do not come out looking good. So click right here, set sail straight into that video, and keep the roast tour going. Trust me, you'll never look at a butter bar the same way again.